Welcome to another episode of Real Estate AI Flash. And today we have Suneet Agarwal. He's the CEO of Best Sac Homes Group and a top producing agent with LPT Realty in Sacramento. Suneet and I bumped into each other at a Realtor.com broker event last year. And I sort of
Yes.
since been following his work, and he leads one of the highest performing real estate teams in California and is recognized nationally for his sales volume and leadership. And I thought it would be very apt to have him talk about how he's embracing tech-driven innovations with AI to boost his
Absolutely.
coaching clients, etc. So, Suneet, welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. I'm thrilled to be here. It's going to be a good one. I can't wait to talk
Yeah,
about
looking forward to it.
AI. Yes.
I gave you like a elevator pitch introduction for a distinguished career that's still rising. So, could you take our audience through your journey and how you got into real estate to bring us to today?
Yeah, sure. So prior to real estate, I was in the medical cannabis industry here in California, and I ended up getting out. Political climate and all that stuff had something to do with it. Got out, sat around, decided to become a realtor. And my first year in real estate, I begrudgingly decided to become a realtor. This was about 12 years ago. And my first year, I ended up being like rookie of the year at the Coldwell Banker brand for the West Coast. Oh, what just happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I had marketing chops. I had marketing chops, not really lead gen chops, but I had marketing chops. So I brought them, and I'm a geeky guy, and I really dug into different kinds of tech, CRMs, lead gen, Facebook ads, personal development, right? So then, I went on. I started my team at the end of my second year, kind of in the worst way to start a team. I just got some leads and stood up at the end of a cubicle and said, "Hey, I got a bunch of leads. Who wants to join my team?" And 6 agents said yes. I was like, shoot, what do I do now? Right. So then I had a team. Then about a year and a half later, I said, I'm going to start a brokerage. So 3.5 years in, I started a brokerage, not knowing anything, right?
Yeah.
But just recruiting and working on personal development and a lot of coaching, a lot of different events, getting in the right rooms, challenging myself. I was complete white belt mentality and listening to podcasts,
Yeah.
every single episode of certain podcasts, and it really helped. And within 6 years of getting my real estate license, I was now the top team in California. I was like, what? Right? And it came from my background. And that meteoric rise, it continued. The team is in a great place now. We're not the top anymore. I'm okay with that. I don't think I have the capacity to maintain that, right?
Yeah.
Like the team is doing well. We're impacting and helping agents. We're impacting and helping consumers buy and sell, of course, which is the purpose, right? Um, and throughout that course, it got me into speaking engagements from the success, and I know how to talk to people. Speaking engagements, a very something I'm very proud of is we were able to build a great coaching business around that for team leaders and brokerages that in turn which in suit turned into the Reside platform, which is pretty much my passion project and what we're doing now to impact. It's all about impact at the end of the day, right?
Yeah,
So
for sure.
how can I impact the most people into stuff that inspires me to do so, right? And gives me fulfillment. And at this season of my life, it's through the Reside platform and team leader coaching.
Yeah, for sure. I'm sure we'll get into that reside thing. I'd love to dig into that a little bit as
Yeah,
well.
sure.
So one of the things I found out about you as I read about your background was you're like motivated for like to drive growth, scaling businesses or agents to coaching, etc., through
Yeah.
tech-driven systems and leveraging technology. So as you and I talked to in preparation for this episode, we talked about how ChatGPT's the ChatGPT moment was like Thanksgiving 2022.
Yeah.
But some of us were introduced to tools, AI tools that were sort of Gen AI, but didn't get that moment
Sure.
leading up to it. So, what was your light bulb moment, Sunny, of Gen AI?
So it was about 2 years prior. So I would say in 2020 that I have had a focus on creating content for a long time.
Yeah,
And we found both video, written, social media, emails, everything, right? Like content's been a big pillar in my business for a very long time. In fact, I have 3 podcasts today. That tells you, right? I have 3 posts on every platform for today still. So content became big, and it was really hard to come up with stuff to shoot. So we found Jasper in 2020 and started using it a lot for content creation. I started speaking about Jasper then. I think I told you offline, my first video before ChatGPT came out had 4 million views talking about how to use Jasper to make content like somebody else. And people got so upset, Raji. Even now it's like what everybody does. Yeah, but like I had that one. I mean, you can go watch it on my
we'll put it in the show notes, guys.
And it's funny because that was a lot of people told me afterwards, like when they met me, dude, that was the first time I learned about even AI was from your Instagram video. So we had used it to create written and video content for 2 years, Jasper.ai, right? I think it was called Jarvis at first, right? But then Marvel sued him, right? And then when ChatGPT came out, I instantly saw the opportunity, in so much that we created a course for realtors in November of 2023, the AI-powered agent, and it did really well. And it kind of put me in a place of pseudo AI expert at the time. I had to make a decision though. Is that something I'm going to pursue as my one thing or no? And I decided no. I decided to use it for what's important and to make money for my businesses, not to be the AI guy. So there you go.
Sure. Yeah, and that's, you got to all find your main thing and accelerate the main thing, right?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So, you obviously came from a background with not many real estate agents are, which is like you were using Jasper, you were aware of AI, and then this tsunami of ChatGPT hits, in late 2022. What are some specific use cases you've used for your team's growth, whether it's lead gen, content creation? I know we shot the breeze on some custom GPTs. Talk a little bit about your workflow where you've ingested AI into the workflow.
So right now, well, through the years, creating blogs, right? And of course, the quality of the blog at the time was very poor. We wrote as many blogs as we could with ChatGPT, the 3.0?
5.
3.5. We wrote as many blogs as we could. Email copy, newsletters to consumers, help with email to my list, help with social media. And mind you, I have, I think, 6 different companies, each with Facebook, Instagram, maybe YouTube, maybe Twitter, LinkedIn. So creating content for each of those companies every single day, 2 to 3 times every single day. Videos, like it started for me, like making video scripts, because we produced 5 long form YouTube videos a week back in the day. It was crazy. My poor editors lost their mind, but we didn't know what to say, right? So we created the YouTube content and got a teleprompter, and I got really good at video back then, and we just shot all the time. So I think that's like the place where we started.
Yeah.
Okay. Running different hooks for Facebook ads, marketing stuff, landing page optimization. And now I'm part of some direct marketing masterminds outside of real estate. So the exposure to the real AI guys is very high, right? So we've always experimented with all the tools. And I don't think that people listening need to do that, right? It's part of something that I kind of educate on. You're fine with the basics, but now a lot of our content is podcast type content, and a cool workflow that we do is like, which we were talking about offline, is I have 6 custom GPTs chained to each other that each do a different portion of the workflow on podcast prep and post podcast production, right? And then we get the videos in. Let's say that it's and the transcript is in there, and then the GPT runs the transcript, and then we have the description for short form, right? And then we get it scheduled, and then we're so it's all done with multi-step workflows. However, like at the basics, like if you I believe you should write more good. People should post more on social media. Which platform? All of them.
Right.
You can very easily go into ChatGPT say, this is what I want you to do. Write me a prompt. Go to the top left and say, create a custom GPT, and then save the information, upload the examples of stuff that you like, train that custom GPT, and then use that for all your social media instead of working in one chat thread for like a month and just trying to like, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that chat thread. So I got to find it every time, right? And to where, even for my personal life, which I think is super good, is, I am really big on personal development and accountability and hacking and winning every damn day. So I have custom GPTs that I check in with on my fitness, on my calendar, on my business bigger goals, and make sure I'm tracking. Like, I do it every morning. I do it every night, right? Like, that's optimizing everything.
Yeah, and you make some good points there in terms of, like, it's almost like having a personal development coach, a health and fitness coach, right? Business coach, anything that you need to sort of are important in your life, you can build a GPT for it to keep you on track.
Yes.
Right? And take it to the next level.
And I think that a lot of people are scared of GPT because they still believe in like some kind of crazy prompt engineering. Let me tell you, it's a lot, like, everybody listening, all these fancy prompts are gone. What you do is you turn on your microphone and you start talking into it, and talk as long as you need. And then you tell it, ask it, does this make sense? Are there any more questions you have for me? And guess what? It's going to give you more if it needs more. And you continue to talk into it. And then at the end, you say, hey, make me a prompt for a custom GPT. What kind of documents should I give you? I think people got scared of prompts, dude. And now they're all like, I don't know what to say.
Yeah, and I think it's one of the things that people are scared about technology is that they feel like AI is technology. Don't get me wrong. Okay, if you're listening, a lot of tech goes in behind the scenes. But to be a really good leverager of this technology, you don't need to be a technologist at all. You just need to learn how to communicate, text, and chat, and talk.
Yes.
Right.
And I think too, like, a lot of the things that you can do in like the SaaS space on creating little apps, and I've never been the most creative person on that. And even the ones that I did create, I wasn't in love with. Like, they didn't fulfill a big need for me. But someone out here listening to this podcast has some idea and they don't know how to develop. You could have ChatGPT write the code. You can build the app. Like, sky's the limit.
100%. And to your point, I think advanced voice mode in ChatGPT as of this recording is the best bidirectional voice engagement with AI today.
100%.
Right? I know the others are coming along, but I love my advanced voice mode because it is such a underutilized tool. When I talk to people, they're paying for ChatGPT, but they're just not talking to it, to your point. And once you talk to it, it actually gives you a transcript of what you talked about too. And the one that Suneet talked about, custom GPTs, if you're looking for, we'll put a link in the show notes. I built a custom GPT to help people build custom GPTs.
Yeah.
So just simply ask you questions and it'll give you all the instructions, the name, conversation starters to go to town.
Yes.
And that's awesome. So Suneet, you obviously have been very successful in real estate, and you're sort of building all these teams. You're growing your team, but also focus now on training and coaching. I'd love to kind of go into that. Again, to your point, making an impact. You could make an impact with training people to serve the buyers and sellers, and you sort of have graduated, for lack of a better word, into that. Kind of graduated. Yeah. And you have the credentials to do that effectively, also because you've been very successful practicing real estate. What are some, this is really the reside question, what are some AI tools, if any, you're using for your training and coaching as well? I know some things translate easily with.
Sure. So, good, really good. Like, I've created a bot that has a download of, I think, 300 coaching calls, where we have now, it's not with ChatGPT, we're using Claude because it's able to process the bigger amounts of information. And for those of you listening, don't go and look up Claude just because I said so. Okay, this is very specific use case. Use Chat GPT as much as you can. Okay,
Yeah.
but this is done to where coaching clients and other coaches who work for me, mind you, this is updated every single day.
Yeah.
Right. So coaching clients and other coaches who work for me, if they have a question, they don't have to ask me. Right. So that one I like. After every coaching call, now, Zoom has the notes, and Read.ai is the one that I like because they have an easy API so you can get it into different platforms. But we use, one of those notes to create items and to complete checklists for the next call, which is really helping me be more efficient and saving me time. Sure, I still have VAs who are pushing all the buttons because there's a lot you can do with the AI that people think, oh, AI is just for marketing. Well, AI, you can also get stuff from here to here and have it process into what you want. So it could be easy. Like we do 3 newsletters a week. I could get the newsletter content researched, post on the blog, a script written, right? And then put in my email and send, but I want to look at the email first, right? So a lot of those things we're still putting the human input there, right? But back to coaching. Oh yeah, you want a name of like a specific tool that I love?
Yeah, I'd love to if you can name some public tools that you use that are really integral to your business. Yeah.
So I really like MindPal.
Okay.
I've been using. The owners are great. The founders are great. The community is great. It's getting a little bit more advanced than what I'm there for, but such is the nature of these things, right? And
what does MindPal do for you? What does MindPal do?
Sure. So MindPal, you can create agents, and you can create them on any language model.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can create the workflows with as many different agents, as many things as you want. Research, I mean, it's robust.
Good.
Right? Like they built something.
This whole agentic platforms that help you build AI agents is going to be more prominent, obviously, and that's one of them. MindPal, chat-based, yeah.
Yeah, I really like MindPal. I like Poe, which is another one of those that you can house your bots on with the different LLMs. And I like Chat GPT as my assistant, which I think is where it shines because of the memory. But for me to sit down for utility and get real work done, I'm going to sit in Poe on an agent I have trained on something, or I'm going to sit in MindPal where, MindPal has allowed everyone on my stateside staff and a big chunk of my virtual team to have access to every LLM, to have access to all my bots, and it's working well.
So let me ask this question, since you have, obviously, you have VAs, et cetera. So let's say I'm listening to this podcast, I hear Suneet talk, and I'm an agent that is solo agent, but very productive.
Sure.
That needs to scale their business. And, I feel like if you don't delegate, you stagnate, but you got to delegate to the right people, right?
Yes.
How would you onboard a VA in the AI world? Because you have VAs that are sort of doing the traditional stuff without leveraging AI to maximize the output you're getting them. How would you go about getting the right VA that is AI forward?
Yes, this is very important. Everybody listening, I'm not asking you to become an AI expert. I'm asking you to learn enough to become dangerous and then leverage AI-enabled third world workforce.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're turning one employee into 100.
Yeah.
So the first thing that I did, and it was a struggle. There's some countries where the comfort level is higher. Not all LLMs are available everywhere, and there's different things that are happening.
Yeah.
Which is why MindPal is so good. But it starts with like the hiring process. Like what I did is I created a custom GPT for international talent hiring and international talent scoring. So we create the questions on the things that are most important. We input all the resumes and we create a scoring system and
Nice.
with test questions. So I mean, that's how I did it.
Yeah, that's good. So, and where are your VAs, if you don't mind asking? Which countries are? How have you gone about the hiring process?
Sure. So I've hired internally. I kind of ran an agency for a while, but I decided, it wasn't worth the headache, right?
Yeah.
A bulk of mine are in the Philippines. Now,
Okay.
I've attempted to hire in Argentina. Argentina is not as tech forward as many of these. I hired 2 women in Argentina, and I hired a 19-year-old kid, a young man in the Philippines, and the 19-year-old running circles around him. Right?
Imagine, yeah.
I have a staff writer in New Zealand,
Mm.
and then some people in Pakistan right now.
Yeah.
I want to say we still have some in South America, but it's just it's about being open-minded and not letting one bad experience sour a whole geographic region, right?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
if that's the case, then you would never hire anybody in the US.
Yeah,
So
sure.
and it's about making sure that they're tech enabled. Like, it's so important now. And
Yeah,
we're right around the corner, and we're actually living in like the first step of like every VA being tech enabled. So
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's a good call out. I just felt like I wanted to pick your brain on that, in terms of how you onboard VAs, because that's how you scale from get those digital employees, and you scale in a massive way instead of having the traditional employees. Yeah. So anything else
100%.
before I get to my final 2 questions, Suneet, that you feel like AI's integrated? You've talked a lot about, obviously, custom GPTs, your VAs, your newsletter processes. We've touched on a lot here. Anything else that we're missing?
I mean, I think, just to reiterate what I said, like, people need to learn enough to be dangerous and then leverage the people. Don't think you need to become an expert to make money with AI, right? You have some ideas, play with them in Chat GPT, and then go on to Upwork and find somebody who can make those ideas into reality before you spend like a whole weekend doing $3 or $4 an hour work.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah,
Yes.
I think you need to have a foundation, and the most difference between our listeners, many of our listeners, and us is that we've just had way too many light bulb moments with AI, and we know what's possible. So it's like kind of moving that journey along. And if you're listening, you've had one, just go be curious and get enough. So you can hire the right people under you to kind of delegate to scale your business. So really good takeaways. I want to get to a couple of questions that I ask all my guests, and you are perfect to ask this question.
Oh, fun.
Because of your background, your credibility, all of that. So if you were a new agent today, or somebody listening to this podcast, what would your one piece of advice, and the advice be AI, non-AI, doesn't really matter. What would be your one piece of advice that would really help them grow their business?
I think that everybody needs to be overzealous about self-promotion. If you are doing any kind of sales, anything, if you have anything that you're trying to do more of, you need to be overzealous about self-promotion, and too many people are just damn shy because they have some fear of judgment or something else that's getting in the way, right? Like, no matter how much money I've made or what I'm working on, I post on social media, friggin' Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and maybe no one ever likes my stuff too sometimes, right? 3 times a day, right? Be shameless about your self-promotion, right?
Yeah.
Do not hold back. And it just so happens that you can use AI to help shorten that and cut down the workload from massive to seconds.
Yeah. And I think that suggestion of you're creating content, you're a content creator that's adding value.
Yes.
And your comment about self-promotion is not just look at me. It's more about you're adding value to your network as part of that, right? So you're not selling. I tell people, stop selling and start storytelling. It's the same thing, but you draw people in to what you offer. And every day, if you're practicing real estate, there's a story every day of something that you can actually spin, right?
Yes,
with clients, buyers, sellers, market, etc. Right? That's a great piece of advice. The next question I have is, you're a big podcast guy, I think, right? You're obviously, if it's a book or a podcast, is there one that you feel like has influenced your career more than anything else that people listening to our pod should tune into?
book or podcast and
Yeah.
influenced my career. Oh, that's a really good question. When I first started as a realtor, I voraciously absorbed every episode of the Pat Hyben Real Estate Rockstars. He's since sold it. Good for Pat. Love him. He's done it. He's opened a lot of doors for me. So that's, something that was good for me. But I think there's more meaningful stuff in like the books on what you can work on. I think, go read Think and Grow Rich. Go read The Ultimate Laws from Jim Rohn. Go read, See You at the Top from Zig Ziglar. Like, go read, the Tony Robbins, Waking the Giant, like those are the ones, man. Like those are the ones that I always go back to. Like, go read Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Like, just get deep into it. Yes.
Yeah. So this has been very helpful, Suneet. I appreciate you, first of all, taking the time from your busy schedule. I know how busy you are with everything you're committed to doing. Continued success on your real estate journey and also your Reside platform. And I can't wait to see you sometime real soon, hopefully here in October with another Realtor.com event.
Hopefully. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity, Rajiv.
Yeah. Have a great day.